So good day, ma'am. Good day, everyone. Together with my team, Zamora Ochavillo Villanueva and Chan, we will be discussing about a case study report regarding asthma and pneumonia. For the part, the discussion of the patient, about the patient information, his initials are LAAD, in the age 23 years old, male patient, and the main reason for his hospital admission is that he has difficulty in breathing. And as per mentioned by the patient, few days prior to his admission, he has on and off difficulty of breathing. And for his past medical history, according to the client or to the patient, he was hospitalized during childhood due to an asthma attack and was also diagnosed with pneumonia. And also the patient verbalized that he had experienced chickenpox, amoeba, and asthma during his childhood days. And the patient also stated that whenever he eats shrimps and eggs, his asthma triggers. So his food allergies are shrimps and eggs. And also, he mentioned that his medication is salbutamol in the brand name Hyvan. For his family history, according to the patient, there is a history of bronchial asthma on their father's side of the family. And for his medication history, the patient took Vitex Segundo L or Lagundilibs in the brand name Temex Forte, 600 milligram capsule, which is indicated for the relief of reversible mild to moderate bronchospasm in adult and children with obstructive airway disease such as asthma, pneumonia, and COPD, which is he used it to alleviate the symptoms of his asthma attack prior to his admission. And also, the patient was also prescribed with cefuroxime in the brand name Cefujet 500 milligram tablet, which is indicated for the treatment of bacterial infections, including pneumonia caused by bacteria. Because, as I've said earlier, he was also diagnosed with pneumonia. He took it twice daily every 12 hours when he was diagnosed with pneumonia. And for legal drug use, the patient refrains from the use of any recreational substances or drugs. For tobacco and ethanol use, the patient abstains from both smoking and alcohol consumption. Since again he has asthma, so cigarette smoking may trigger it. The patient is not subjected to passive smoking or secondhand smoke since their household does not engage in tobacco or cigarette use. For drug allergies, the patient has no known hypersensitivity or allergies to drugs, but as I've said earlier, he has food allergies like shrimps and eggs. For his physical examination, for his nutritional status, the actual findings, his general appearance is listless, appears acutely or chronically ill, and interpretation for an analysis, not normal, and he manifested a loss of weight. For his temperature as of February 24, 2016, 10 a.m., 37.7 degrees Celsius, which is normal. For his pulse rate, 10 a.m., the same day, 80 beats per minute, which is also normal because the normal BPM is 60 to 100 BPM. For respiratory rate, 10 a.m., 21 BPM, and it's normal also. And for his blood pressure, as of 10 a.m. as well, 119/79, which is also normal. For his laboratory results or laboratory database, for his urine analysis, his actual findings. Then for his laboratory results, urine analysis, actual findings, yellow, not normal. And for his hematology, for actual findings, he has high neutrophils, which is 0.79, not normal. For the problem list, as of The date of onset, February 22, 2016, which is his admission date. The nursing problem is ineffective airway clearance related to diffuse airway inflammation. So the diagnosis for this indicates that the patient is having difficulties in his airway due to inflammation throughout airway passages. And this inflammation is a result of asthma attacks and pneumonia, which can cause narrowing of the airways. So for the next problem in the list is the ineffective airway clearance related to secretions in the bronchi. This diagnosis suggests that the patient's airway clearance is compromised due to the presence of excessive secretions in the bronchial passages. This can occur as a result of pneumonia, where infection and inflammation lead to the production of mucus that obstructs the airways. So to sum it up, the diagnosis for the patient is asthma and pneumonia. For the review of hospital course, the patient was admitted in a private room, which is room 324. He has intravenous fluid balanced with multiple maintenance solution, 5% dextrose, hook, laboratory works up done, which are urinalysis, hematology, and radiological report. He was given, during his admission, salbutamol as nebulizer, meptine, levocetirizine, hydrocortisone, montelukast, meropenem, and nasotap. And for the drug therapy during hospitalization, since I've said earlier the list of drugs, first is the meptine. In the brand, meptine is the brand name, and the generic name is procaterol hydrochloride, which is given to him 5 ml syrup 2 times daily at bedtime, and it is indicated for the relief of dyspnea and other symptoms caused by reversible airway obstructions in bronchial asthma, and also chronic bronchitis and pulmonary emphysema. It is for his treatment of acute bronchitis. Next is the levocetirizine in the brand name Allerset, which is given to him 1 tablet in 5 milligram once daily at bedtime. This for the symptom relief in patient with allergic asthma or to manage any concurrent allergy symptoms that could exacerbate asthma or pneumonia symptoms. Next is for the hydrocortisone in the brand name Hyosonate, given to him 100 milligram powder for injection every 6 to 8 hours initially. It is indicated or it is used to reduce inflammation in various conditions, including asthma and pneumonia. Because during asthma attacks, there is an inflammation in the airways. So, need sa atong patient ng corticosteroids. Next is the salbutamol, the brand name Hyvent. Again, for the salbutamol, the brand name Hyvent, which is a solution for nebulization, the patient is given 2 to 4 milligrams 3 to 4 times daily every 4 to 6 hours as needed for bronchospasm relief. It is indicated for the management of acute bronchospasm associated with asthma and pneumonia-related respiratory distress. Next is the Montelukast in the brand name Montelukast sodium in the brand name Leucorex, which is given to the patient 10 milligram tablet taken orally once daily in the evening with or without the presence of food. It is a leukotriene receptor antagonist, which is commonly used in the treatment of asthma and allergic reactions. Next is the meropenem. Meropenem in the brand name Merop, which is a powder for injection given to the patient 2 grams administered intravenously every 8 hours. It is an antibiotic used to treat severe bacterial infections, including pneumonia. And lastly, for his OTC or non-prescription drug, which is the Nasotap in the generic name phenylpropanolamine hydrochloride and brompheniramine maleate, it is given to the patient 1 tablet twice daily every 6 to 8 hours. And it is used for his relief of symptoms associated with common cold, allergies, and upper respiratory tract infections. And for his the list of his may go home drugs and instructions is prescribed with salbutamol, which is given orally 2 to 4 milligrams 3 to 4 times daily, or 4 to 8 milligrams sustained release tablet 2 times a day. And for solution for nebulization, inhaled 1 to 2 inhalations every 4 to 6 hours.
So for the discussion of the disease state, for incidence, asthma affects approximately 339 million people worldwide. So this asthma, it is very common, especially on the female than the male adults. So our asthma, we can get asthma if there is a family members who also have asthma, particularly a close relative, such as parent or siblings. For pneumonia incidence, varies by region and population demographics, with estimates ranging from 2 to 16 cases per 1,000 adults annually. For etiology, asthma, a chronic inflammatory disorder of the airways, often triggered by allergens, respiratory infections, exercise, or environmental factors. Pneumonia, caused by bacterial, viral, or fungal infection, with Streptococcus pneumoniae being the most common bacterial cause. Presenting symptoms of acute disease. First is difficulty breathing or dyspnea. Second is fever, cough, wheezing, and fatigue. For pertinent laboratory findings, urinalysis yellow, hematology elevated neutrophil count indicating an inflammatory response. For prognosis of the disease, prognosis varies depending on the severity of the asthma and pneumonia, as well as individuals' response to treatment. Generally, with appropriate management, most patients recover from acute episodes of asthma and pneumonia without long-term complications.
So for the discussion of treatment, so here we have different kinds of treatment that we can use for our patients. So for the traditional treatment, we have first here the inhaled corticosteroids. So for the inhaled corticosteroids, we have the ability to reduce the airway, reduce the airway inflammation and prevent the asthma exacerbation. So some of the drugs that sa atong inhaled corticosteroids are the fluticasone and the budesonide. So our corticosteroids, they have the ability to reduce the mucus secretion. So may inhibit nilang release ng mga macrophages natin that can cause the kanang inflammation. So our corticosteroids po, they are also known to have this immunosuppressive effect and the anti-inflammatory effect. So pwede siya magamit for pneumonia. So since immunosuppressive sila, they are given need sila prescription and di sila pwede i-abuse kay mababaan nila ang iyong immune system. Next slide. So here we have also the long-acting beta-agonist. So actually sa beta-agonist, we have the short-acting and the long-acting. So for the long-acting, it takes time for them to para magkaroon ng action na mag-exhibit ng pharmacologic activity. So these long-acting beta-agonists, ginagamit sila for for prophylaxis lang. So they provide bronchodilation and improve lung function over an extended period of time. So they're often used in combination food with our corticosteroids, especially kanang long-term management of asthma para ma-maintain na to ang airways over an extended period. So some of our drugs in our long-acting beta agonist, we have our formoterol and the salmeterol. Next slide. So for our next traditional treatment, we have the short-acting beta agonist. So from the name itself, short-acting, so yung effect is pang madalian. So ginagamit siya for kanang asthma attack. So to provide quick relief of acute symptoms such as wheezing and shortness of breath, which are some of the symptoms sa ato ang asthma. So these medications, they provide ka ng quick relief by relaxing the muscles around the airways, making it easier to breathe, especially na naay asthma or exacerbation of the pneumonia symptoms. So one common example of our short-acting beta agonist is our salbutamol. Next slide. So next, if kanina meron tayong inhaled corticosteroids, meron din tayo so oral corticosteroids, they can be used to control the severe asthma exacerbation and reduce the airway inflammation. So some of our drugs na ginagamit as oral corticosteroids is our prednisone and the prednisolone. Next slide. So next for our last na. Sorry for that. So for our last na traditional treatment, we have our leukotriene modifiers. So leukotriene, if you guys can remember sa atong biochem na class, it is an icosanoid. So from the pathway na icosanoid pathway from the arachidonic acid, with the help of the lipoxygenase nating enzyme, ma-convert siya into leukotriene. So ang leukotriene manggod, it is responsible for bronchoconstriction, which is one of the symptoms of our asthma. So once na ay leukotriene, most likely na siya bronchoconstriction sa atong asthma attack. So we have here the leukotriene modifiers. They help control the inflammation and decrease the mucus production in the airways. So mo to siya, it can block the action of certain chemicals sa atong body that can cause inflammation and as well as matighten yung ating ginablock niya ang action na matighten yung ating airways. So one drug na under our leukotriene modifiers is our montelukast. Yeah. Next slide, please. So for our alternative or investigational treatment strategies, we have here three. So first is the anti-IgE therapy or anti-IgE or immunoglobulin A. So kaning anti-IgE therapy, the IgE is actually an immunoglobulin or an antibody which is responsible for hypersensitivity reaction. So kaning immunoglobulin A, it can distort the membrane of our mast cell na responsible na mag-release of histamine, which can actually cause bronchoconstriction or bronchial constriction. So the anti-IgE therapy, it is a monoclonal antibodies, for example, the omalizumab, which may be used in severe allergic asthma, allergic asthma cases to reduce the IgE levels and prevent the asthma exacerbation triggered by allergens. So, it is a key player in allergic reactions para ma-reduce ang asthma symptoms and as well as ma-prevent ang asthma attacks. So for our allergen immunotherapy, for patients na with allergic asthma triggered by specific allergens, the allergen immunotherapy, it can be used to reduce the sensitivity and as well as decrease the asthma symptoms. So last, we have the bronchial thermoplasty, which is actually a procedure to siya na ginagamit. Wait, pabalik ako sa slide please. So it is a procedure na ginagamit to control the thermal energy sa ating airway na wall. So pag ma-control na natin yung thermal energy sa ating airway walls, ma-reduce ang smooth muscle mass, and as well as ma-improve ang ating asthma symptoms. Yun siya. Maka-provide siya ng long-term relief for severe asthma symptoms. And last, we have the monitoring plan. So in our monitoring plan, we have 4. First is the lung function test, or we call it spirometry. So here in our spirometry, ma-assess nato diri ang effectiveness of treatment by measuring the lung function and the airflow. Next, we have the symptom monitoring. So in here, from the name itself, monitor na to ang symptoms of our patients, especially in our patients with asthma and pneumonia. One of common symptoms is like the coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. And next is the medication adherence. So as pharmacists or as clinical pharmacists, one of our responsibilities yun, diba, to get the medication history. And as what Mama Behad has said before, na the main purpose of getting the medication history is to know whether the patient are adherent sa kanilang medication. So in medication adherence, we monitor the patient adherence to prescribed medication and providing education support as needed. So especially to our patients na young, they are not educated with their drugs, or we need to educate them, especially na ma-inform sila na they need to be kanang compliant sa kanilang medication in order to achieve the optimum effect of our drugs, and as well as ma-improve ang ilang symptoms. Ito siya. And lastly, we have the follow-up visits. So regular follow-up visits with healthcare providers para ma-assess ang asthma control, and as well as adjust the treatment. If, for example, na may need i-adjust sa kanilang dose or need magpalit ng drugs, yun. And also provide the ongoing education support. Next slide.
So let's now proceed to the summary of the study. So for the evaluation of the therapeutic plan, so first, the healthcare need of the patient is the ineffective airway clearance. So the need pharmacologic therapeutic goal is to improve the airway clearance. So the recommendations or interventions for therapy are first, administer bronchodilator as prescribed, such as salbutamol, and then provide corticosteroids to reduce inflammation, such as hydrocortisone. Third is to ensure adequate hydration and humidification to thin the respiratory secretion. Next, please. And then for the monitoring parameters, first is respiratory rate, wheezing, and dyspnea, which is the shortness of breath. And then for the second, lung function test, spirometry, and then symptom assessment. Third is fluid intake, sputum production. For the desired endpoint is first, a resolution of the symptoms. Second, improve lung function. Third is to decrease the respiratory distress. And then for the frequency, the first is as needed, regularly. Second, regularly. And then for the third desired endpoint in monitoring parameters is regularly. And then for the suggested alternatives or alternatives and suggestions. So first is consider adding long-acting beta agonist or LABAs for maintaining therapy to provide sustained bronchodilation. And then allergen immunotherapy may be beneficial for patients with allergic asthma to reduce sensitivity to the specific allergen. And then third one is anti-IgE therapy, such as omalizumab, could be considered for severe allergic asthma cases not adequately controlled with a standard treatments. So patient counseling points is first, educate the patient on proper inhaler technique for bronchodilators and corticosteroids. So this is very crucial for patients because without the proper usage of inhaler may lead to a fatal for the patients because inhaler is very important for patients with asthma. So for the second is to emphasize the importance of adherence to prescribed medication regimen and regular follow-up appointments. So for this also, it is very crucial for a patient to be adherent to this prescribed medication for a better outcome. And then for the third one is encourage lifestyle modification, such as avoiding triggers, maintaining a healthy weight, and staying physically active. So although physically active is the hindi siya masyadong ginagawa ng mga patients natin is because they are taking the prescribed medications, but it is also encouraged for the patients to do this para ma-augment yung mga effect ng mga gamot natin. And then for the fourth one, discuss the potential side effect of medications and when to seek medical attention if experiencing worsening symptoms and adverse reaction. So that would be all po. Thank you.